All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the live stream tonight, Sunday night. We have some things to talk about. Hello. We know what happened last Wednesday, and Heroscape got announced. New game, Age of Annihilation. We talked some about it last Wednesday night, and we're back tonight. Just talking a little bit about updates, rumors, conversations, stuff like that tonight for the first hour of this live stream of usually Tales of Valhalla production editing, which I'm Ryan, the producer-director of Tales of Valhalla, The Aftermath Chronicles, which is a stop-motion Heroscape adventure, which you can find us on YouTube. Type in the YouTube search bar, Tales of Valhalla, and you'll find us there. And I used to say Heroscape being a discontinued miniature war game, but I can't say that anymore, can I? I'm gonna have to rewrite my whole script.
Yep.
I've been realizing that like these past few days, I'm like, there are so many things that I have to redo now because it's just so mind blowing that this has happened. But anyway, thank you everybody for joining us live tonight. We had some good people commenting last Wednesday. Got a few. I don't know about you guys. Got a few subscriptions. Got a few follows. Some nice things from nice people. Just subscribing, supporting. It's always a wonderful thing. And I am joined tonight by Jason and Jeremy, who were with us last week. But if you guys want to shout out what you guys do and where people can find you, Jason, go ahead and go first.
Yes, I'm Jason. I'm the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield. You can find me over on YouTube under the username Rocco Robotics. And I also create Legends of Kaladesia, an abstracted physics space combat miniatures game. And that's at EmpireUnderSiege.com.
Right. And Jeremy?
Nice. So, my name is Jeremy, also known as Croatoan, and I am in charge of the Esalen Call It, which is a live stream. I do Twitch, I'm on YouTube, and I basically just multi-fandom content creator focusing on lore. So, for here, I do lore of Heroscape, I get into the story and narrative of the game and talk about it all the time, and on Twitter, on Twitch, on videos and stuff like that, so...
Absolutely. He is basically my lore master about understanding everything that has to do with Heroscape. And now we have lots to learn from what they're doing. More lore, apparently, in the future. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how that might change Tales of Valhalla in the future as well. First thing I want to do, though, is, I'm going to show this first. Because we talked about this big, we're not sure if it was a dragon, because it had feathers or whatever, but this big monster of a beast, and we finally get to see the question has been answered, thanks to Tommy Adams for posting this on Heroscapers Facebook, but we finally get to see the backside of this thing, and it does have 3 tails. That is awesome, and we know the name. We know this beast name. It's a Dryon Lifeborn Dragon, apparently. And I also know who painted these miniatures. I have their Instagram, actually. I'll talk about it in a second. But Jeremy, can you explain to us, what does that mean? What is a Lifeborn Dragon?
So here's the funny part. I have 0 idea, because the concept has not shown up in the game yet. We don't...
Wow.
So dragons...
It's not from anywhere else then. This is something they're making up.
This is something new. This is something they're adding to. And the thing is, if you watch their live stream, if you watch what they've discussed so far, they said they're going to be introducing new concepts to the universe. They're going to be introducing new concepts to the narrative. So this is probably a start of that. Whatever they're referring to when they say Dryon, Lifeborn Order Dragon, it sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh card name, to be absolutely honest. This is bunch of random words all thrown together that makes it sound really cool. I don't know what it's referring to. So in that case, for what I know so far, it's a new concept and something fresh to be introduced to the universe.
Right, and a lot of this information also we got from Sir Heroscape, because Sir Heroscape has done a couple update videos. And if you're watching this on YouTube, link description below for his videos as well. I'll post them there. And so we know that, and here I just want to real quick I want to give some credit to the person who painted these miniatures for Gen Con. Let me just get to him. On Instagram, it's known as Flash Master Blades, and posted, and here's the painting of one of the Heroscape miniatures, which is I love this miniature. It just looks so cool with the knife and just the armor and it's just really cool. So Flash Master Blade says, hello, Flash removers. I recently had the privilege of painting some prototype figures. So these are prototype figures for the amazing folks at Avalon Hill for display at Gen Con, announcing the return of the Heroscape board game. I can tell you the figures were amazing sculpts and a joy to paint. Really cool stuff. Thank you so much, Flash Master Blades, and go ahead and go to that artist's Instagram and give them a like, give them a follow, and show that person some support, because they did a wonderful job painting these miniatures. Good job. Now, there is one thing I also wanted to mention as well when it comes to... Here. Totally muted my... Yeah, paint job. Kayuki Izuki says, that paint job does look sweet. Yeah, they did a good job, so definitely give them a like. I'll try, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll try and post a link below for that Instagram account as well. But they're also mentioning something about a Monster Hunter faction. And so that's a new faction. So it's going to be a new Valkyrie general probably, who's a monster hunter possibly. I don't even know what that means.
Right.
Like, what monsters are we talking about? Like, and there was also some discussion as well about like, they have I think this was from Sir Heroscape interview as well, that they have like up to 2 years of product that are planned for release, or I don't know if it's ready or planned or whatever, but that's what they plan to do starting out. Is that correct?
Yeah, so when they were Sir Heroscape was able to talk to Dadscaper, who was one of the individuals that's in charge of the new designs. Part of they call them the Heroscape War Board, or the War Council. I think that was the word they used. And so Dadscaper is part of the War Council, and they were talking about all that stuff, and they were saying that they've been working on this for a bit, and they have a long list ahead of them. This is just the start. Like okay. So what cracks me up, right? This is a teaser. This whole time we have been analyzing a teaser. This is all we've gotten. The full info, like the actual info, they plan to drop tomorrow, right? But we've only just been teased this entire time, and all this, it's just so much resulting, so much excitement from a teaser. and
we'll talk a little bit about tomorrow in a little bit. Yeah, probably be the last things we talk about, because that's the actual official news. So so we're gonna do that last. And let's see here. And there was also I think discussion about that they're planning more large miniatures. So that's not going to be that dragon isn't going to be only big miniature. They're going to have like some really large miniatures in the thing, which is kind of cool. And so before we move on, because there are some rumors and stuff, I do want to just give a shout out to a couple of people, like from when we did last Wednesday's live stream. Right after we were done, I re-edited it just a tiny bit, rendered it, and posted it on the Tales of Valhalla YouTube channel. And thank you everybody for watching that. I got some comments from people, but also some comments below that video that I just want to address from some of the people who watch Tales of Valhalla, and some of these were kind of fun, so I just wanted to mention them. So I'm gonna pop them up here on the screen. And so basket. Unreal that Heroscape is back. The battle of all time indeed. Yes, sir. If you're sir, I don't know who basket is, but yes, person. I can feel the wind rushing through my nostrils, says Daniel Woolard. Yes, we all can. Quoting Toothpick. And if you're watching, you don't understand that reference. Watch season 1. Yeah, Akiuki says, yeah, I was the wind comet. Yes, you were. Christopher Menard says, big news, I swung by the channel just because I knew you'd be as excited about this as I am. Yes, we were. And also one little bit of talk about Samuel Brown, actually, here from Chad Beckstead. He's doing the LLL thing, and I think Sam Brown, if he gets released, his official backstory should be that he was the last hero summoned, but something happened and he missed the big battle. Like he tripped and fell in a hole and got knocked out and has been living in seclusion ever since. And Ryan Picklesheimer just basically says,
Yep.
But when let's see, I'm gonna just go back here real quick to Chad. Chad, if you watch this or watch this in the future, that will be a brainstorming. If I ever get a miniature, that type of miniature for TOV, that might be that miniature's backstory. Now that character's backstory for TOV. I'll keep it in the memory banks. We'll see. So yeah, that's just a couple of comments from the people who watch TOV. Thanks, guys. Thanks always for your support. Now I am going to, let's see here. Let's talk about actually some things from the design team, because I got some posts from the people who actually have designed, some of the designers of the game. Starting out, let's just approach this first. So what we're gonna get to first, and we're gonna talk about this a little bit. This comes from Dadscaper. It says, "Hi all, I'm excited to say that I've been authorized to report that minis will be shaded by general. It will not be a sea of gray. The miniatures will be in the schemes of their generals," which I think is very good news, because what kind of started Wednesday, and it was almost like watching people fight over well springs. It really was this kind of a little bit of debate within Discord and Facebook between painted and unpainted. And it almost turned into kind of like a paint gate. And Cody, if you're watching, or if you watch this later, you came up with that name, so I'm referencing you real quick for that. Thank you for that idea. But yeah, kind of like you have both sides, like one side unhappy, one side that was just like, get over it, and both were just a little nasty. And it's just like, look, if you don't want the game because of that, fine. If you're gonna play the game anyway in spite of it, okay, whatever you want to do is fine. There's no reason to argue over this of what's better. And I do want to give like our feelings on this. I know that on Wednesday we did kind of predict, okay, were they going to be painted or were they going to be unpainted upon release? And I know my hope, my guess and my hope was that they were going to be painted. And I know Jeremy and Jason, you guys said unpainted. So first I'm going to go with your guys' like reactions and responses to that, and then I'm going to say like my reaction and response to that. Jason, you go first.
So I'm looking at the picture here on Flash Master Blades, the new Heroscape character, and the detail on this miniature is amazing. Heroscape has never had miniatures that look this good. These things are on par with Privateer Press and Games Workshop.
Right.
And you could never produce this miniature and have it pre-painted by some person in a factory and make it look good.
Be very expensive.
I'm just looking at the dragons right here from the first set, and there's like blobs of like the scaly skin that aren't even properly painted correctly because they gotta paint these things fast and cheap. So I mean, if you had these things pre-painted by somebody, they're gonna look just blotchy and not very good, or they're gonna have to produce miniatures that are much substandard in terms of their detail quality than what other companies have out there. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why they went with non-pre-painted, because you get much better looking detailed miniatures.
That's a good explanation for that too, Jason.
Mhm.
Jeremy, what are your thoughts? Go, Jason. Do you have something else to say?
Oh, but I was gonna
Yeah.
say Neil Fiammer, how you pronounce his name, he's literally 4 colors:
Right.
white spray primer, a black wash, blue eyes, and a pink tongue, and that's, I mean, that is literally like a 5-minute paint job. So there's your choice. You get fast painting or detailed miniatures, and I think they went detailed miniatures, which is the right choice in my opinion.
Jeremy?
So yeah, the thing is, the painted unpainted. I'll be absolutely honest with you, right? It's new Heroscape. I want to buy the new Heroscape. That's my main motivation. I've always had a interest in learning how to paint. Time is the issue for me. Is setting aside the time to do it. But
Everybody, not just
yeah,
you, everybody.
that's the big thing.
Yeah,
Time is a
right.
big thing, and
sure.
so I can understand why there is the debate, the desire for pre-painted, because it saves a lot of time in the long run. But the thing is, like, and going off of what Jason was saying about the detail, like, these characters look incredible. Like, even with the shots, like, you get close shots in, and that, but you're not holding them yet. When we hold these characters, we're going to look at them and be like, oh my goodness, right? And they even said you don't have to paint them. The characters themselves are going to look so good when they come out, that the paint will be a personal choice, but you can still play them without paint and they're still going to look amazing. So it's like, remembering that they're putting all this effort to make these characters look really, really good. They're it's the Avalon Hills flair to the Heroscape franchise, because we've had the various editions, right? We had the OG, Hasbro, Milton Bradley. What they did was the pre-paint, right? Wizards of the Coast decided to rehash the D&D minis and paint them that way, and now this is Avalon Hills version. They want to do unpainted, but they want to do them super detailed. So you kind of get to see that, it's the timeline. You get to see the different companies and how they've approached this product, and of course, like, the discussion I've seen about paint costs and the economy and prices rising and stuff. Like, they've said they have it on good authority. This is from, I want to say it's from one of the admins on Heroscapes. They have it on good authority that if they were to pre-paint all of these characters for sale, it would be a $400 master set. I don't know about you. I don't got $400 to drop on a master set. Just saying, I would like to keep it within the general price range that I know Heroscape to be, plus, the 12 years of inflation that has happened as a result. But still, keep it within the accessible prices that Heroscape was also known for, being a war game that multiple people could play, and rather than someone that would have to drop several $100s onto a hobby. So, even though we end up buying several $100s of it anyway, because it's Heroscape, but
Right,
So.
right. And Kyukisuki says here in the chat, and anybody else feels free to chat, go ahead and chime in with your opinion, but Kyukisuki says, the debate has definitely made me sad. I totally get the points from both sides, but where the people creep into trolling territories and outright arguments is something I haven't seen until now. Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. Amen. It's freaking new Heroscape. That's right. And I mean, my opinion was, yeah, I mean, it was my hope for pre-painted figures, because I think that was one of the draws for me to start animating with Heroscape and making Tales of Valhalla, was the fact that I didn't have to paint these things. Because people have asked me in the past, well, why don't you do Warhammer or some other game? I'm like, it's because I have to put more effort into assembling and painting those things, and I just don't have that type of time. I was on my deathbed half the time making this show, and so, I mean, the Heroscape was just so much easier. The story was there too, and the variety of characters were there at my fingertips. It was literally an open sandbox, and it still is practically.
Right.
So that's what I enjoyed about it. So, and I understand, what Kyukizuki says. I understand both sides. I do understand the fact that, even though I know they're going to still try to appeal this to younger people, to the family, I think it has gone a few points down from that because of the fact that these don't come out painted. It is going to take a little bit of work. Even if they come out shaded by general, great. At least you'll be able to still play right away. But a fully painted miniature is just so much more satisfying. And I understand the couple points down towards that aspect for people to really get into the game. I get that, but on the flip side, this is something, because I think painting miniatures, because I've started doing a little bit of painting, and that's a very calming thing. It's a very brain developing thing, to where it actually will help benefit children to do that type of thing. It gives them a goal. It gives them like a sense of the arts and artistry, to have a goal towards something, to not only play this game, but as well as spending time as a family, just silently at the table, just painting miniatures. And it doesn't matter, how you do it. It doesn't have to be something perfect. If it's yours, and it's your handiwork, it doesn't have to be anything perfect to do. It's all part of brain development, of developing as a person. So that's something that Heroscape has never had before, because before it was just you open the box and you play. Now there's a little bit of interaction. It's miniatures that you can call your own, and so that I think is a perk, and I think that's something that people really haven't thought about, thought about in depth too much. That they really should. That's one of the perks, and I know that these developers, they're from our community. Craig Van Nuss, I'm sure they tried every way possible to figure out to get painted miniatures for the new game. I'm sure they tried thinking about every avenue. It would surprise me if they didn't. Right. And I'm sure it was a difficult decision for them to get to this, but it was the most logical one, when you really think about it. So, we should cut them some slack. I don't think, because I know I saw some comments to this is going to be the failure for this game. I did see that too. I don't. It could, if there's a lot of negative thrown around, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think as long as the community that matters still sticks together, we're still excited for it, because I'm still excited for it. Yeah, I kind of disappointed in the fact that, okay, now I got to work towards getting these figures painted. Oh well, I have to, but like you were saying, Jeremy, difference between like $100 and $150 master set, between $400, you can spend not up to $400 to get whatever miniatures you need painted. There's plenty of people out there to paint miniatures, or just try to get the paints yourself. Because I think if you do, you could get a professional to do it, and that you might shout a little bit dull. But if you just get the paints yourself and just start going at it, take the time. Everybody says they don't have time. I guarantee you have time. All you have to do is put down your phone or turn off your TV. I understand there's busy people. I know. I have a 4-year-old. I know there's hardly any time of the day, but I also know if I would actually go through all the minutes of my day, I could find time to paint. And I have find time to paint. Sometimes I paint while I watch or listen to something, and that's another form of therapy. So there are ways to do it. There are absolutely ways to do it. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
That specific thing you mentioned about painting be a form of therapy, they actually mentioned that on the Gen Con live stream, because they were talking about the process of painting and how it's a form of meditation and things like that. And it was a really interesting concept for me, because it's taking the time to slow down and put your personal touch on these characters to bring them to life in your own way. Maybe, I'm not saying and I understand, we're talking about, especially, right now in chat, there's a discussion about what are the chances if they bring it painted, or if they're going to do it painted. I want to say the chances will be based primarily on supply and demand, essentially. Like, I don't know if they'll be able to afford it, and if they can't afford it, they're not going to do it. If they can afford it, we might see some mention. This is why, you know, when the news comes out, when the forums start popping and people start talking about this game, which, by the way, the conversation is everywhere. I've noticed a lot of people are talking about Heroscape right now. It's like,
exploding. It's so cool.
I don't even know how, like, I am like it's like a kid at Christmas, but like multiple Christmases all at once, because I am sitting here watching some of my really good friends who are like I just got off a call with one of my friends who said, oh yeah, I saw an article talking about that, and he's never heard of Heroscape before, but he saw it on the news. Like, everyone's talking about it now, and I'm just like,
yeah,
what?
It's
like,
getting a little bit more attention, and it's really fun.
This is going to be a really interesting era, knowing now, and this is right because social media wasn't as active, wasn't as prominent as it was back in the day. When Heroscape discontinued, it was in 2010, right? So like YouTube just got started, Twitch got started in 2012, right? So all these platforms that everyone had, like all the platforms everyone has now, we didn't have back then.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, the voice of the players, that is the most important part here. If we really, 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 really want painted units, right, we got, you know, we do it in a kind, you know, respectful manner. We talk about it. We start the conversation. We talk about it. We might get an official answer from the top dog. So they might be like, look, we tried and we just, like, it is just not financially feasible, or whatever reason, right? Right now, we're working with a teaser.
Right,
So
we literally know
we don't even have
nothing.
the actual info.
We're going
we're working with a teaser. So
nothing.
I say, keep the conversation going. Talk about it on your social media. Talk about it on your platforms, right? And if you want those characters painted, say you want them painted. Don't be mean about it. Don't put other people down who want to paint the characters, and you know, vice versa. If you want to paint the characters, don't put down people who want painted characters, right? Everyone be nice.
And
just be nice with each other.
Please don't give the admins grief from Facebook and Discord too. They're swell people, and they're trying their hard to manage the situation as well, because I'm sure for some of them it was a shock.
Topic, I'm just like
Now, when you guys are done, I got one more hand grenade to toss into this topic when you guys are done talking.
Go ahead, Jason.
Right. So the one thing I got to bring up is the topic of government regulation in the United States, and this is actually important as it relates to this.
Okay.
The original Heroscape, if I got my data correctly, was for ages 8 and older, and therefore in the United States it's classified as a toy. The problem is when you have something that's classified as a toy, it's got to go through a lot more strict regulation than, say, a game targeted at adults. For example, Warcraft Mechanica and Battletech are both for 14 and older.
Okay.
Which means they're not toys in the United States. And therefore, you can basically produce these things and not have a lot of government regulation about them. That's why you can still buy lead miniatures for, like, historical wargaming.
Okay.
Now, with the new set of Heroscape, by breaking away from pre-painted miniatures, what they're doing is they're getting away from the original miniatures, in the sense that now, by not being pre-painted, they're more of a hobby product, which means it's more of an older audience. But the other thing in terms of government regulation is, not only if you're marketing your product to kids is it a toy, but if the general acceptance is the idea that your product is a toy, it's going to be considered a toy. So therefore, by having now, say, unpainted miniatures, you're basically breaking that lineage, the idea that Heroscape is a toy. Does that make sense? I'm trying to explain there how.
Okay, yeah.
It's now
they're trying to upgrade it to wargame kind of thing.
Yes, to make it a hobby product. If these were pre-painted,
it's obviously
a Terminator here. But if these were pre-painted like the old ones were, it would have that more of a link of the new game being a toy, because it potentially is being marketed towards kids discreetly, which the government would be upset about.
Right.
And therefore, if you have to go through all that proper testing for toys, it's going to cost more for the company. And the other thing that might happen is all the old Heroscape miniatures are very soft plastic. I was playing around with them a minute ago, right? The wings bend, the tails bend, things like that.
Very stretchy, yeah.
Where the gaming miniatures, like for example, Games Workshop stuff, is hard plastic. Cairo's Fate Weaver's spear right here, you can stab your eye out on because it's sharp and pointy.
Oh, okay. Well,
The main advantage of hard plastic miniatures is that you can get much higher quality production out of them than with soft plastic miniatures.
Okay.
And you even see this today with Star Wars Legion, which has gone from softer plastic to harder plastic in more recent years, and you get higher quality miniatures. And therefore, probably if you had sharp, pointy things on miniatures, because of the hard plastic, higher quality detail, you run the risk of also being flagged as unsafe for kids if you have this link. So
yeah, the regulations and stuff. Okay.
Yes.
okay.
A long-winded story about the industry of the game.
No, it makes sense.
That's a really good point to make, and I think so. Talk about that. Keep that conversation going, because that is a really good point to make. Didn't even think about it, honestly. Regulations and industry regulations and things like that, because that is a very serious thing to consider, especially with development of a product. Is will you get permission to make this product? Can you pass regulation? If you don't pass regulation, this will not market the way you want it to, and before we know it, Heroscape will die again. They have to cut certain things off from the original game in order to market it better, and that makes a lot of sense. So I thank you for sharing that. That's actually really good.
Yeah. That's why I have him on board, because he knows these things.
That's awesome. I didn't even
guy.
consider it.
I have all sorts of weird insights in the game industry.
That's
I've
awesome.
made games, I've produced stuff, I've had people produce me stuff, I've looked into the economics of things.
That's awesome.
So I got a lot of weird knowledge like that.
I love my think tank. It's good. It makes for a good stream. Okay, I'm just gonna shout out to Mallory. Hello, Mallory. As long as I'm not butchering your name, I apologize. I have 2 friends excited about Heroscape a lot. Awesome. Yeah, I think we're all in that. Kayuki Zuki again says, "Let people enjoy things." Exactly. Just let us not just in things, but the moment. We're basking in this moment right now that this game is being resurrected at the after. It was like an asteroid hit, It was.
There was no prediction. I didn't put this on the bingo board. I didn't plan this at all. It just happened.
Oh, it's a lovely thing. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, let me get to. Okay, I gotta close this one down. All right, now let's get to. Oh, and again. Back to Dadscaper's point, how the minis will be shaded by general. And you were saying, Jeremy, that what was it confirmed that assembled or unassembled miniatures? Everything's going to be assembled?
So from the post that Dadscaper made about the miniatures being colored by general, he said he doesn't know if they're going to be pre-assembled, but he says it's not far to assume that is the case. Like he's like he can't imagine them not being assembled, right? And even in the case if because we're kind of used to it already, right? We always take the wings off of our dragons when we put them up, and
I mean
certain
that type of thing you can understand that if you put those together. That's understandable, but. Yeah, just
if anything, I think that's what we might expect is the wings will be a different piece and whatnot. But he said he doesn't know if it's been decided, but he would be stunned if the minis were not in fixed poses. So it's the general idea is there's a possibility. And like I said, we're still working off a teaser. The official info is tomorrow. So we're
looking forward to it. I don't know if I'm going to stream tomorrow or not. If I have time, I might do a quick stream just to talk about what's going on. So
I'm gonna stream myself jumping into the Discord.
Be prepared, guys. To me, just to call you, okay, I'm going online in 15 minutes. Join me, please.
Join you. Let's go.
We'll see. I don't know. I might save it for Wednesday. It depends on how big the news is.
Right.
Because I mean, I'm already losing sleep over this and not getting enough.
I'm too hyped. I'm way too hyped.
Jason?
I'm holding this box up, Battletech miniatures, because the whole pre-assembled is not terribly uncommon these days. These guys are all multi-part miniatures that are pre-assembled in the factory and come like this.
Okay.
And even then, games like some of the older Star Wars Legion stuff, even if it's unassembled, they have ways of basically being really easy to assemble, where they take minutes to stick a guy together.
It'll be interesting to see what they come up with.
Older school stuff, like the sprues and things where it gets hard to assemble.
Right.
And they're not going to be pewter, so that's good. No pewter miniatures. Those are impossible to assemble.
Yeah, goodness.
Okay, so next... Okay. All right. Anything else before I move on? Okay, but generals are shaded, so that's a good thing. A plus. That makes me feel a lot better about the unpainted thing for sure. Actually, it almost pretty much resolves it practically. And anybody who had any qualms about it, to where, because that was my big worry, is like, well, if they're not painted, how are we going to know who belongs to which general? You know, by just looking at them. If they're unpainted, now we know, and that's awesome. So thank you for thanks to Dadscaper for that comment. That's really good. Now I'm gonna move on to something posted by Christopher Perkins. Him and I think a few other people built this. It's called an Autoload army builder, which is basically like I don't have it shown up here, but it's basically to where it's just this computer hive mind to where you can digitally assemble your army, both OG Heroscape and C3V Heroscape. And it's just got this wonderful index, and it seems pretty user-friendly. It's really cool. I recommend, like I said, if you're watching the YouTube, there'll be links in the description below for this. But for those of you who are watching this live right now, here is where Christopher Perkins posted. He posted this on Facebook or Facebookers, Heroscapers on Facebook, and there is the link right there. Just search for it on Heroscapers on Facebook or on Heroscapers.com. He also posted it as well. It says here
the
thread.
Link
is. Yeah, it's in the thread. Let's see here. Autoload Army Builder. Yeah, thread. Yeah, basically. So all you have to do is Google Autoload Army Builder, and I'm sure the Heroscapers website will post up where it is. It's just a great way to assemble armies and see like army miniature stats and stuff. Just a really nice tool that they've been working on, and they finally released it. So thank you, Chris Perkins.
What a time to release it. What a good time to release it. That's
Yeah, and I'll read some of the features here. It says toggle between standard and delta pricing. So the different points, so people will be able to know that now. Toggle between classic and VC inclusive. Sort unit list by a variety of options. Search by unit name to limit figure list. Copy army as text along with builder to paste. Separate tab for calculating partial card scoring for 2 armies simultaneously. So it's just a bunch of stuff because these guys, they know what they want, so they're building it. It's a great thing to see. So
yeah, that's the best part of the app industry. Most of the time, it's like we have these apps because somebody wanted it. They're like, "Hey, we need this." And it's like, "All right, done." And there we are.
Now for something a little bit of fun. I got a couple of posts here that's I think mostly through.
Oh dang! Did it get deleted?
Mostly through Facebook, Heroscapers on Facebook. And this is just some funny stuff that I thought, oh, this is cute, and I thought I'd mention them, so I'm gonna put them up here. First thing you're gonna see, okay, I know this is a family show, so don't adults don't tell your kids what MF is, but I thought this was funny. It says, I was sure there was like only 40 or 60 people active in this group. Now everyone has come forth from the shadows, from the edge of annihilation. They come. Yes, and this is from Mark Winkelspech. If I butchered your name, I'm sorry, but I'm giving you some recognition. Thank you, Mark, for that post. That was really cute. And then Josiah, and we already talked about this, but I'm so excited for the news. Do you think figures will have stickers or texture bases or be completely flat? Also assembled versus pre-assembled, where do you stand? So now instead of painted, unpainted, now it's assembled or pre-assembled, but we've kind of explained why that's kind of a mute argument as well. Even if some of them comes, to where you gotta assemble them, it's not going to be like a complicated thing, or it shouldn't be a complicated thing, based on our opinion. But what about the we'll ask this though for a second. Textured, like the bases. Do you think they're going to have stickers? Do you think they're going to be like have a layer? Because I know the miniatures that we saw in Gen Con, they did have like a little layer of stuff that was like ground or part of the environment walking in. It wasn't just a flat sticker on that miniature. Now these are prototype miniatures, so what do you guys think?
If they're gonna be paintable, there's not gonna be a sticker because you generally hit a spray primer over the miniature for the first layer. So if there's a sticker on the base, it's gonna get painted over by the spray can primer. So I think you're probably gonna see some sort of decorative base that the miniature's attached to, and that's starting to be common too. Or it may just be a flat, basic base where you can put your own little rocks and grass on. One of those two are both very.
They might give instructions for that, maybe, on how to do.
Maybe.
Possibly, yeah. Jeremy, what do you think?
Yeah, so I think the bases. No, I noticed the bases were of different color too. Not entirely sure if they're going to stick with the stickers, but because that's how they've done it before in the past. Was like you had the brown base and then there's like the land sticker on that. I don't know, like it looks different, so I want to say they because remember they changed the bases during the Wizard of the Coast era as well. They made them smaller so that you could play with the characters on both.
And those are harder to animate too because the miniatures just knock over because the base is just so darn small. I have that trouble animating Karak all the time. They were trying.
So the reason why they did that is because Dungeons and Dragons is based on a 5x5. Like they have 5x5 squares on the maps that they make for the miniatures, and so they were trying to kind of like compromise between the franchises, so that way you could play the Heroscape characters on both Heroscape and on the 5x5 square maps that are available for Dungeons and Dragons, which I get it, but also why? it was difficult to work with, and I understand they were trying to cross promote or whatever, but
right.
I hope they don't make a massive change like that with this stuff. Like from what it looks
the
like,
bases look like they're the regular size as the original.
like just a different color.
Just I think it's different color, a little bit of texture to it. So yeah.
But also could be just the prototype because we are working with prototypes, so that might be the case too. It might be a DOG scape with the color, the land color.
We'll see. We'll see.
Right.
Okay.
It's all in the air.
So thank you, Josiah Sloan, for that post on Facebook there. And then on Heroscapers, we got Cody again with this kind of theorizing some origins here, and I thought this was kind of cute, so I'm going to talk about this as well. It says, I'm starting to suspect the revival of Heroscape is due to our timeline being altered when the Large Hadron Collider resumed operations 2 months ago. I don't know what that's referring to, but it sounds cool. Craig Van Ness infiltrated the facility 007 style and placed a single grass hex in the particle accelerator just before it was turned on. And you know what? I think that's about the most accurate description on how this got started that I've seen so far online. What do you guys say?
I mean, we're talking about theoretical physics. I mean, yeah. The thing is, we have to just, once again, sitting on the fact that not a single person predicted that Heroscape was going to ever come back. We had created a massive customs movement. We have all these custom creators. We have 3D printers, right? A bunch of people who, like, when I was at ScapeCon and I saw a fully, like detailed, painted, 3D printed Wasaga and Zelrig, right? These are characters that come from the Achilles Alliance, which that set by itself can run up to $200 or more on eBay, right? People are printing those characters now, like for far cheaper than $200, right? And so that was what we prepared to keep Heroscape thriving into the future, was by printing these characters by ourselves. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, don't worry about it, we got you. What? So I'm totally down to believe the Hadron Collider had something to do with it. Turning that thing back on, altered the timeline a little bit, brought back, integrated.
We're in the multiverse now.
Yeah, we're in the multiverse.
Jason, what do you think?
I mean, sure, I don't got any better explanation for what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Other than Hasbro or somebody at Avalon Hill did the math, that's the approximate popularity of Heroscape times the number of starter sets I think they could sell equals a large
Yeah.
enough figure to make it worth their time to make some prototype miniatures. I don't know.
It's so fun. It's so fun to think about. Just the randomness of it all too.
Anyway, but no doubt there is a revival of Heroscape going on. Thank you so much, Cody, for that comment. Yeah, just I sometimes browse Heroscapers just to see if I find anything interesting, and that definitely was a fun rumor. Thank you so much, Cody. All right, now we're gonna go. I'm gonna read a couple of rumors that I found, and before we get started with these, now I'm just quoting these as rumors because these are posts from Facebook and Discord, but I well, because I didn't spend time verifying them, but let's just say right now that they're unverified rumors, so please take this with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But these are a couple things that I found out behind the scenes. Yes.
Before I start reading them off, this would be something fun to do because people have done this with Games Workshops and Warhammer. Is you record the rumor that someone makes and who makes it, and see if anybody actually has a proper track record. Because sometimes you can align that certain people, even if you don't know who the anonymous name is, the username has a good record of getting rumors right. And they may be somebody hidden in the supply chain somewhere who knows what's actually going on.
Well, that's what
some random guy
I've taken
making garbage up.
Yeah, and so that's why I say rumor, because I don't have time to verify or even check if the person's being honest. I'm just like, ooh, this looks cool, and I just screenshot it.
You can't do that right now because the actual real data is not available. But as it becomes available, you go back and someone goes back.
Well, yeah, and we'll go
going
back
along and see what happens.
Right, exactly.
Okay, go ahead,
So we're gonna go first. There was a comment that I saw on Heroscapers on Facebook. So let's bring that one up. And this comes from someone named Kyle Gibson. It says there will be 4, apparently I believe the master set, 30 miniatures, 16 army cards, and over 30 pieces of terrain. I have some inside knowledge here, but that's all I can say. Now, this could be completely false.
Right.
But does that sound actually like a possibility for a master set? I mean, would there be less miniatures? Would there be more miniatures? It sounds like if there's 16 army cards and some of these are like army units or squad units, and 30 pieces of terrain. What do you guys think? Would that be enough for a master set, or do you think this person is just saying that they have inside information but they really don't?
So if I was to make a, well, I guess or sort of like a theory craft off of the theory, I feel like they're just citing the fact that both the Rise of the Valkyrie and Swarm of the Morrow were 30 characters, 30, 33, I think were in that range, because it was 30 for their first one, 33 for Swarm of the Morrow, because they had multiple commons. And so they're just basing off of the formula that seemed to develop around the master set prior to Wizard of the Coast reception, when they only gave us 10 characters, right? We only got 10 characters in Battle of the Underdark. So, you know, it may just be like, if we're hoping that Avalon Hill wants to follow the traditional formatting, they would work towards getting 30 characters made. That's basically what we see as a master set. So I think that's why this theory is being made, because we're assuming Avalon Hill is going to be following the old formatting. Now, once again, we're still talking about plastic costs and the change between now and then, and who knows if they're even able to make 30 characters without it being overpriced, right? So I can't say that would be accurate without, once again, more info or understand how the process
might know
is.
tomorrow. We might know.
Right. Tomorrow is the
design.
actual news. That's the thing.
Right.
Everything
So
is
we'll
based
see.
on a
So
teaser.
we might actually have to live stream tomorrow anyway, just to be like, okay, this was wrong, this was right.
We
this
found
was
out
wrong.
everything. We got it.
Yeah. Jason, what do you think?
Seemed like reasonable numbers. Had 30-ish miniatures.
Right.
So, for plastic miniatures, that's kind of about what you see in other games. Star Wars Legion starter sets come with about 30 miniatures for the $130-ish price range. So, but they don't have the terrain. So if you factor in miniatures plus terrain,
Yeah.
Plus, you've got the little tokens. You've got all the army cards.
Dice.
I think that's a little, yeah. And plus, it's custom dice.
Mm-hmm.
And need a lot of custom dice if you want to play the game. I think that's probably a little bit on the big side, unless it's going to be like a mega $300 bundle you can buy off the bat.
Right.
The miniature counts are right, but the other stuff in there, I think it jacks the price up a little too high.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. And so yeah, thank you, Kyle, whoever you are, if that's your name. But thanks for
Kyle
that.
said this many miniatures.
Thanks for that inside information. Now now we're gonna talk about something else that's on Discord, and this is another side to the game. This comes from someone named N Carmine, and this was something interesting. This is like the other side of the sphere. It's not exactly the game itself, but what they're going to be doing for like story within the game. So, and the people that they're bringing on board, which I thought was very interesting. This sounds like something that I think I still call it rumor, but I think it's true. I think it's absolutely true because there's just so much detail in this. So let me just give it a read real quick. Here, I'm going to expand, make this a little bit bigger for you guys viewing this. Alright, so it says, I'll give you all 5 more pieces of intel that may highlight how in-depth this project is going. In addition to our Heroscape War Council, which is cool, that's a cool name, that you all know are involved in the creation of new units and rules and development, and our entire internal Avalon Hill staff, we've brought on Ryder Windham, and I was actually supposed to research this person, and I didn't.
The name sounds familiar.
It does, but I don't know exactly who or what they've actually done through Lucasfilm, but a fiction writer for Lucasfilm who has been working with us to expand the narrative and story of the Heroscape universe, which is kind of cool. Baldermort from Baldermort's Guide to Warhammer has accepted the voice actor role of Thormon of Tayloron, if I'm pronouncing that right, for upcoming content and narration assets. As you can tell by the miniatures presented at Gen Con, we have put together an entire team of concept artists and sculptors to develop a new range of characters and species, including Max Dunbar, Bob Naismith, Matthew Larson, John Gieg, and the talented crew from Keyword Studios Volta. The illustrators and artist at Yellowfly and Pilot Studios, led by Chris Ford, who was one of the original artists on the brand in 2004, and their art director, China Blue Rocket, are hard at work creating new art to help bring Valhalla to life in a way never seen before. The team at Atwater Studios, so like we said last Wednesday, they did have a separate studio make the teaser, helped us bring that teaser video to life at Gen Con, and are in the studio right now on Phase 2. This will be big, in caps. We have assembled an army even Jandar could be proud of, or Yandar could be proud of. Enjoy the journey. This is something that's quite a bit of information, and I think it's huge. The fact that, I mean, there were a lot of names in there, but just the fact that you have people behind the scenes, you have professionals within their fields that are involved in the creation, the backstory, the lore of this universe. So not just for the game, but also for entertainment content. That's a lot of work and a lot of effort, and I'm sure they're going through a lot of brainstorming and have done to bring this universe back to life, really. So I look forward to see what they have, and I believe this rumor most likely is true. And so yeah, thank you, thank you and Carmine for this. Jason, what is your thoughts on this?
All right, so Ryder, he's a Star Wars author. He wrote a bunch of Star Wars books, so that sounds familiar.
Like what books?
There's a list of 60 of them.
Well, name the first 5.
Okay, give me a second here. we go back to the 90s.
Sure.
We've got Droids, Star Wars Droids, R2's Day Out, The Mixed Up Droid is a comic, more droid stuff, Rogue Squadron Special 1995, Shadows of the Empire, Glue
Oh,
mini
awesome.
comic. Those are short things.
Okay, so
Those are comics,
basically a
sorry,
comic
my
book
bad.
writer, and I've read actually
Comic book and novels.
couple of those comics and novels. So yay, that's good. Okay, that makes me feel a bit more confident. So
So other than that, this Atwater Studios does list Hasbro as a client. Yeah. That sounds like a lot of work for putting into Heroscape. I mean, unless Hasbro really is planning to throw a lot of money at this thing,
they might.
I don't know. That's a lot of money. I mean, what the guy, unless I'm totally misheard what you're saying, they're talking about a lot of entertainment properties, right, related to Heroscape?
It seems like a little bit, at least
Like
for
all these,
advertising.
yeah, they're saying that all these people are coming
Advertising
together
lore,
to push it. Yeah.
and there's probably like artists for for box paintings and maybe like if they have like inserts, in the sets, like for like artist inserts or maps or whatever. They might even do maybe some type of interactive like online thing, because if they have a voice actor who's going to play one of the characters within Heroscape, that might be something that's like some type of interactive or some type of a journal, like video journal entries that they might do, as like maybe a small cinematic or something. What do you think, Jeremy?
If it's something very simple, sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I could talk for hours on this.
Yeah. It's, I mean, like, and going off of Jason's thoughts about the fact that there's so many large names, so many large concepts being mentioned here in this teaser. It's hard to think that they're like, that is a lot of money to drop for something that has been discontinued for 12 years. I don't know. I mean, obviously I don't own a company or anything like that, but in the theoretical mind, when you're trying to relaunch a product, do you want to spend that much money in the relaunch, or do you want to start small, see how it goes, and then drop the money later? That's the question. Like, are they really putting this much at the very beginning of something that, until maybe 3 days ago, not a lot of people knew about, right? Because we were such a niche community up until the announcement, right? So I don't know. I am optimistic to see in what direction it goes, but the idea of them having voice actors for the characters and stuff like that, that's insane.
Why don't they give me a call? I've already been doing this for several years.
I guess the question is, what kind of scope are we really talking about, right? If they hire the Star Wars author, maybe he's writing a 5-page novella that's going to come in the starter set, right?
And they've had comics before. They've done a comic series.
Yes, right. We're comics before. Magic the Gathering, which is obviously under the Hasbro brand, has tons of freelance artists who do all their card art. So they could hire 20 artists, like Ryan was saying, and do one picture each. That's not a lot of money. They could then have a trailer for the launch where they have a famous voice actor who says 3 lines. He's basically doing a 1-paragraph summary of what's happened since the end of the last Heroscape. That's also not a lot of money. So there's ways you can use these big names and not spend a lot of money. I think I initially was thinking like, large scale video productions, large scale stories and stuff like that, where I don't think I'm gonna do that. But
right. I don't think it's gonna be anything as big like what I've done.
Reasonable.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be any feature films or anything. There better not be.
No.
We really don't need that. We really don't. Let's see here. Oh, what's it? Mallory is speaking in Spanish, I think, and I have no idea what this. Jeremy, can you translate, please?
Yeah, I gotcha. It says they believe they're going to start with something small and see the response of the public before investing, or before putting all that out there. So it's just that's kind of the same way I was thinking, is like, as much as exciting as that sounds, that is a lot of money and a lot of content to invest into so early on when this product just got teased, right? So it's like, let's see what, like I'm like I said, really don't know until they mention it.
Right.
And if that's the case, if they did in fact put this much money into the product, maybe, I don't know, that's a really cool idea to think about, that's how much they trust us. Like, because the whole reason why they bring this back is because of the community, right? Like they said, the Heroscape community is very, very loyal. They're very, very loyal fan base, right? Very dedicated fan base. And, Craig Van Ness and everyone has mentioned that they're doing this because of us, right? That they are doing this because we are so dedicated to this product.
I wonder
if they're willing to invest that much money into us. Thank you.
Yeah, I wonder how much Van Ness actually sold this to them, to where they're just like, okay, we'll make an investment into this and put a little bit towards whatever they could allocate. I wonder how much of a sell that was and how enthusiastic everyone was at the end of that sell. I imagine kind of enthusiastic if this is what's coming out.
Right, for sure.
Everybody seems
after
pretty
Hero
excited.
Quest and 3.7 million, they're a little more enthusiastic.
Right.
Yeah, no, that was a lot. They got a lot of money for that product. It was very impressive. All crowdfunded too.
And one thing I want to mention too before we get into the final, which is actual news segment, which is talking about tomorrow. One thing I just want to mention when it comes to, because one thing I've been hearing like through Sir Heroscape and on the chat forums and stuff as well, is the fact that Age of Annihilation is going to be basically a different age. So like Rise of the Valkyries, Storm of the Morrow, that's basically in the past, and Age of Annihilation is a different time, so probably in the future, and so you can have different characters. Who knows who's survived from the past? If Raylan's gonna maybe there'll be like a different version of Raylan, or a different version of Drake Alexander, or maybe like a descendant of Drake Alexander.
Right.
Who knows? Or if there will even be humans at all, because all the humans that originally got taken maybe died out or something. Who knows? But one thing that I think I'm excited about, and what might change how I end up writing the scripts for future seasons for Tales of Valhalla, is the fact that I still want to continue with a lot the storylines that I'm developing in the present time with the Airborne Elite and the other miniatures, because I do have story arcs that I'm developing near the end of season 3 that I'm going to move into future seasons. But it doesn't mean I can't add on other things. Doesn't mean I can't have Age of Annihilation integrated into the series. And one idea that I might take is have like a character, like find a character that is going to be released in Age of Annihilation, and if they're from that time, send them back into time, back to the present time, and like warn the Airborne Elite about some danger to avoid maybe that Age of Annihilation, but at the same time maybe even integrate it, because obviously my story stuff is not going to be the main canon, and it never was the main canon. It's a non-canon thing, but maybe try and hint at like actual multiverse, to where all that stuff that's happening within Hasbro is a different universe, but what's happening within Tales of Valhalla is its own universe. So kind of like maybe hint at it's like a Heroscape multiverse type thing, possibly. But those are the kind of things I've been thinking about the past few days. And now I know Jeremy and maybe possibly Jason, you in the future, we'll have more discussions on this, especially when Age of Annihilation comes out and when I start writing like script writing seasons 4, 5, and 6, because I plan to have you two both in my round table of advisors when we do make this stuff. So what are you guys thinking about that? Is that plausible? Is that something we could work into the story and you guys really don't know much about the story because it's all up here in my noggin. But what do you guys think about that, like for just a minute before we get into the main news story?
So go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead first. I talk first a lot. Go ahead.
No worries. And in terms of especially, so Heroscape from day one, right, has been a disruption of the time of timelines of space time, right? And I mean, it doesn't take much, but if for any fans out there, Doctor Who or just any time travel series in general, right, when you mess with time, everything, things always happen. Something always happens.
Right.
There's always some weird disruption. There's always some, paradox that takes place because you're not supposed to mess with time, right? That's the whole thing. So in all plausibility, if this happens to be a future event, if the Age of Annihilation is a future event, that is completely possible that there are multiple timelines that are branching out from each result of the Valkyries tampering with the timeline in the first place, right? They are disrupting like these characters that are on Valhalla were supposed to die. That's the thing, right? They were pulled out of the death sequence. They, right before they get attacked or right before something bad happens, they're being pulled out, and the entire result of what was supposed to happen to them gets completely disrupted. That's going to mess with time really, really badly, regardless of what you think, right? So, whatever, in that case, with that theory that that theory that Ryan dropped about them coming from the future to warn the characters, yeah, totally possible. I mean, at this point, like, they've already messed with time so much, and they still haven't. The thing is, they still haven't corrected it. Like,
This
has not
being
been
kind of
a close of the
satire
time loop they've
too.
created. So it's like
this being kind of a satire. I mean, there's way we can throw in like Back to the Future jokes and like
for sure.
even jokes from different like genres in film as well.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
It's like, and then you just like, it stops and like, what are you talking about? The roads are right here. You acting like we have a DeLorean or something, It's like, oh, how do you know what a DeLorean? So yeah, it'd be fun. It's gonna be fun to script write this stuff. It really is when we get to it. Jason, what do you think?
I think he gives a serious answer. I'm the one who just wants to tell you gotta figure out which one of the airborne elites gonna blow the entire world up. It's gotta be one of them. So.
Oh snap.
Well, if Henderson trips over himself, it's probably going to be him, and just trip over and set a bomb off or something. I don't know. Something that simple. But it'd be really cool to have like. No, this is just us theorizing right now. Like brainstorming 101 in future TOV seasons. But Jason, go ahead.
If you want to tie the whole DeLorean thing into it, you got to find some cowboy character who then explains what a DeLorean is to the airborne elite, because he would have seen it back in whenever number 3 took place.
Johnny Shotgun Sullivan, there you go. Or even we could have there's other lawmen there that we can have them come in and do that. Yeah, that would be fun. Or have like a device called a DeLorean. That's the time machine device, and it's called a DeLorean, but it's not a vehicle, but that's what they call it. But anyway, I was just thinking, and now my mind went blank for it. But just having like a character come in that's from Age of Annihilation into this universe, and warning like the airborne elite end up becoming like legends along with the people that interact with them, and are like. Are highly regarded, even though they're now gone in Age of Annihilation. There are people that still revere them, and then they come back in time and just see they're a bunch of morons. They're like, really? Oh, this is you guys, huh? And that being kind of a, yeah.
What's it called that they talk about in archaeology a lot, how a lot of the things we think we know about history might just be a oversimplification, because so many the gap of time between when these things are relevant and the time when we find them, it's like, oh, these heroes are great, they did so much, and then they go to the past and they realize that their heroes are actually a bunch of jokers, and then they're like, wait a second, we worship you in the future, like. You what?
It'd be a fun thing. It's something that I never considered, because obviously Age of Annihilation wasn't coming out when I was like starting to write the log lines for this stuff. But that would be something interesting to put in. So I don't know. Everybody, all the TOV audience, we'll wait and see. All right, so let's go now to the last little bit of news, which is the actual real news for this, and this comes from Hasbro Pulse.
Mm-hmm.
There is a cell phone app that you can get from Hasbro, have it downloaded. So I did, and they have this announcement that they posted, and it says they say a bunch of information, but it says at the end, finally, In case you've missed the news yesterday, we're thrilled to announce that Avalon Hill is bringing back a fan favorite battle game, Heroscape. Originally released nearly 20 years ago, we thought the time was right to bring back such a beloved title. We'll have more news in the coming weeks as we launch the Avalon Hill Discord channel on 8/8, which is tomorrow. There you have it, friends, with expansions to the Hero Quest and Betrayal at House on the Hill lines, an exciting D&D strategy game, and the whole universe of Heroscape to explore. The whole universe of Heroscape to explore? What does that mean?
Absolutely nothing.
It could mean nothing, and it could mean everything. I don't know. I might be reading in between
at this point, so I wouldn't read too much into it.
Okay, I'm just getting excited maybe over nothing, but yeah, you're right, Jason. We hope
what
you're
it means.
Just excited as we for everything ahead. Go ahead, Jason.
What it means is if you keep handing them money, they'll keep making more stuff. That's what it means. Nothing more than that.
We build the world with money.
Me, Joe Crazy's joining us on the chat for a second. It means Transformers and Power Rangers. Yeah, bring them on. Take them out of their timelines and bring them to Valhalla. Why not? Let's do it.
Not impossible.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the big news.
We had Marvelscape at one point, so
the big news is so basically we talked about what you already knew the past few days, and the big news is what you already knew as well, which is basically everything that's going to be needed to know is you'll know tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Which means after I get off the live stream tonight, I got to re-edit this video and post this tonight or this morning for it to be relevant to people tomorrow before they release the Discord channel tomorrow. Otherwise, this video would just be totally irrelevant to everybody. So my work's cut out for me. Yes, thank you. That was a great live stream. Have a good night, everybody. No, but yeah. So that's basically the news and rumors for tonight. And I don't know if you guys had anything else to add for that. If not, I'm not going to close the live stream. I'll put us on a break. Say goodbye to you guys, and I'm going to edit more of episode 7 because I haven't spent at all. Like last week, I did not edit Tales of Valhalla episode 7 at all, just because of everything that's going on. So I'm going to do some of that tonight with the audience, and then call it a night. But yeah, so that is basically the news. That's some of the comments from the community, from the Tales of Valhalla community, as well as the Heroscapers community. And I just thank everybody for just watching. Hi from Honduras. Oh, now I know who that is. Yeah, hi Marion from Honduras. It's lovely to have you on Twitch. And and everybody that commented, Kayuki, Joe, I think that's everybody. Yeah, that's everybody. And everybody for watching, because I know we have a few viewers there that have been kind of popping off and on. Again, any comments, any questions, feel free. But just final thoughts, Jason, if you want to.
I guess we'll see where all this goes. I mean, it could be interesting, and hopefully we actually get a good product out, and not something that has nothing to do with Heroscape, because you never know with these people.
Expect an emergency message tomorrow night if it's anything huge. If they detail the whole master set tomorrow night, I'm calling you guys. I'd be like, okay, 15 minutes, we're going live.
Now, tomorrow's Discord is the launch of Avalon Hill, which is
right.
Everything including Heroscape.
Right.
So
I think so,
there's nothing specific about Heroscape guaranteed tomorrow. It just says this is going to be our
launch
new
of
community
the site.
site.
Exactly. So if there's nothing, then there won't be nothing. But
they did actually no. So they're actually saying that the Heroscape info will be on Discord first.
Okay.
Which is what they're inviting us to. Like, it will be the Avalon Hill official server, but if we want the info for Heroscape, they want us to join their server. So it's like and who knows what that info is. Just that everything that we've processed since Gen Con, that was a teaser, and I guess the confirmation of what the teaser was showing off will be tomorrow, and whatever else they decide to share. But we'll see. I
think they just said they're gonna publish it to that Discord first, as in that's gonna be the first source of information versus say Facebook or HasbroPulse.com or an app or something.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they actually said they got more announcements tomorrow for Heroscape, which maybe they do, but they may not have formally said that.
They had a live stream about it, and
Okay.
they were mentioning join the Discord. They're like, join in. We'll talk about it there. And it's like, all right,
So-
I'm there. I'm already there.
To say all that to
But-
say this, we'll see. We'll just
Mhm.
we'll see what
Yeah, for
happens
sure.
tomorrow, and if anything big, then we'll probably be back again tomorrow just to talk about it for a little bit. But yeah, so final thoughts then, Jeremy, for tonight. Everything we talked about tonight.
Yeah, I mean, as always, I'm just through the roof. You know, just the fact that Heroscape's returning. You know, and I've actually, as a result, I should say, of Heroscape returning, you know, like I went back onto the Heroscapers forum. I made a post on the blog that I hadn't touched since 2016. You know, like I'm trying to like reinvigorate the things that I was providing back in the day, and it was really interesting because somebody from the forums they messaged like, oh yeah, I remember you, and I was like, that's really nice. That's kind of nice that people still remember me from back then, and like I promise you, like it was a long time ago that I was really active on the forums, right? So the fact that people still remember that name, still remember what I was doing with all the lore stuff, like it's refreshing. You know, it's just like blip of awesomeness in a year that's been really difficult. You know, a lot of stuff has happened this year, right? And you know, if you've been experiencing difficult things this year, like I have, getting this announcement's everything, right? So you can bet you bet I'm going to do everything possible to cover that information, especially on the lore side of things, right? If they are in fact hiring a Star Wars writer to expand the universe, like I'm going to document every little thing he says, like, you know, like I'm going to get into this because this is going to be absolutely fascinating to see where they decide to take it. So my final thoughts, let's look forward to what they plan to expand the universe with. So
Exactly. We'll see. Jason.
Well, thanks for having me, Ryan. I'm Jason, the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield and Legends of Caladasia.
And jump on Jason's channel and make your predictions, because he did
Oh,
a
yes.
Heroscape predictions video the other day, and
yeah.
especially
Got at
his
least one right so far.
his final like his bonus round, I guarantee you, is probably gonna happen. At least it
Yeah.
better.
Does that mean you have some inside information there, Ryan, that you can't tell us? This whole time, Ryan's holding out with secret information. He's just
The past
pretending
several
he doesn't know it.
years, yeah, I didn't. I invented 2-pick for like reasons, you know. But no,
That
no, it was not.
NDA sitting on the counter behind you there.
No, it was a really good video. Everybody jump onto that video and make your predictions as well, along with Jason's. And yeah, it's just, I mean, the whole part is just having fun with this, and it's just been a blast not knowing what's going to happen just based off a little teaser. It's just so fun. And then it's here. Kuki says, "That's a sense of community that I've grown accustomed to enjoying this hobby. I'm glad that it's still the main feeling." Yeah, just get into the hype, people. Get into the hype. And at the same time, yes, be aware that make sure that, you know, you don't have a load of crap being put in your hands, of course. But at the same time, it's being I mean, there is really no red flags. I have not really seen any big red flags from this. It's being
Right.
helmed by the guy we want it to be helmed with. They have a lot of enthusiasm. They're putting in. It seems like they're putting in the time. They're putting in the right kind of media presence, the teaser and the miniatures and stuff. So no red flags so far. So let's just keep on hoping that it's going to be good. And like I said from the beginning, please don't mess it up. So we'll have to see. But with that, I'm just going to take a short break, and then I'll be back editing episode 7. So those of you who are watching live stream, don't go away. I'll be back, and if you want to still continue to chat, ask questions while I'm editing, you can. But Jason, Jeremy, thank you guys for joining me tonight for your opinions.
Thanks for inviting.
Because you guys know some stuff. It's always glad. I'm always glad to have you guys hop on. And again, just be on call this week, just in case something happens.
I'll be open.
But with that, I'm gonna put us to break, and I'm gonna start playing. Let's see here. What do I want to play? I'm gonna start playing the beginning of season 2, so you guys are able to watch something while I'm on break. I might be gone for just a few minutes, but I will be back, and then we'll start editing episode 7. So with that, Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Jason. And for those of you
Thank
watching
you.
on YouTube, that's the end of this segment of video. And just get in the comment section. Again, thank you for watching, for listening to us talk about what you already know. With that, I'll go on break. Later, guys, and I'll see you, audience, in a little bit.